Welcome in, guys, to this week's mental health podcast presented to you by Fly High Wi-Fi, a nonprofit organization that focuses on mental health and suicide prevention. Remember, guys, it's okay to not be okay. You are not alone. We are here. It's something we can't stress enough. Reach out, get help. Don't be scared to ask for help. There's people that are out there that actually do care and are willing to help you. And you guys are the reason why we can continue to do this and the support. And we really do appreciate it. It's been a couple weeks. We've had a lot of craziness going on traveling for vacations for both of us, but we are back and we're ready to go full force for today. We have a couple different topics for you guys today as it is summertime, and I think these are some important topics as the information over
Oh,
here.
you're pointing to me.
So, with that being said, I will let you guys go see Mrs. Wi-Fi on this one.
Um, so we're gonna start with body image and body dysmorphia, which will lead into other topics for like eating disorders. Just with summer coming up, it's a impressionable time for body image and eating disorders and stuff like that to kind of kickstart and or pick up. Uh, Body is a general term. It can be used for anything from weight to face to hair to skin. So when you talk about body image, it's not just generalized for one area. It can be for anything that somebody's struggling with.
Absolutely.
A person's body image is how they perceive their bodies both visually and mentally. This includes somebody's thoughts and feelings about their appearance, and how it directly impacts how they treat their body. When a person does not treat their body well, it can negatively impact or affect their mental or physical health. This goes for working out too much, not working out enough, eating too much, not eating enough, eating the wrong things. Just kind of overall just covers so many different things. Skincare products, you could be using the wrong things to try to like compensate for discolorations, whatever it may be that you're struggling with your body image.
Okay.
Um, Someone's perception or someone's perceived body image is a mental picture that they have about what they look like, and their variety degrees of how realistic a person body's image may be. They may view themselves realistically, or they may see themselves much differently than others do.
And that's probably usually common case, right?
That's kind of where the body dysmorphia steps in.
Okay.
So you see yourself differently than what others see. Um, so the
The,
four aspects of the body. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'll just say, because most of us are our own worst critics, right? We're harder on ourselves
Mm-hmm.
than everybody else is. So that's the mental part of it for
I
me.
kind of really, yeah, I kind of related to that growing up. I have red hair. Growing up, I never saw it. I always thought I had dark, like brown hair. I just recently started noticing that I have red hair, and it
Look,
came from
looks
like
blonde to me.
I have highlights, right?
Ah, so naturally. Got it.
Naturally, I have red hair, but I didn't start noticing until I started getting the blonde highlights that my hair pulls orange when I dye
Wow.
my hair blonde
Okay.
because the red shines through. But growing up, I always was like, nope, I'm not a redhead. I have brown hair. Kind of a different like aspect of body image. I didn't want to have red hair, so I always told myself I didn't have red hair.
Yeah.
Um, so four aspects of body image. There's the perceived body image. So perceived body image refers to how you personally interpret the way you look. This is entirely subjective. So this isn't always reality. This is where you might see yourself as overweight when you're actually very thin.
Okay.
Affective body image. Affective body image refers to how you feel about your body. Such feelings may include anger, disgust, dissatisfaction, happiness, pride, and more. So that you have both spectrums. So you can either be very unhappy or you can be super happy with how you look. Um, may have different feelings about different parts of your body. So somebody might really like their eyes, but not really like their hair. So you have that different parts of your body kind of make you feel different ways.
Okay.
Cognitive body image. Cognitive body image refers to how you think about your body. This can refer to thinking you're fat or thinking you don't look attractive enough. This is where you let your thoughts make you think that you'll be more successful per se. Like, for example, you'll be more successful dating if you were skinnier or had more muscle versus
Okay.
it has nothing to do with that. Um, and then behavioral body image. Behavioral body image refers to the behaviors you engage in due to your body image. For example, some might undergo a cosmetic procedure to change their appearance or go on like restrictive diets.
Okay.
So what is positive body image? Um, a person with positive body image accepts themselves and realizes that their appearance is only one facet of who they are. Avoid comparison and perfection are good places to start to develop a good, healthy body image. Kind of remembering we're all different. None of us are perfect. We're all going to have aspects that we're working on and wanting to be better. So, like, starting there and appreciating our bodies are a good, important step. But also realizing, like, you can take steps to be healthy and making that a lifestyle. A note that I
Yes.
was taking when doing this is if you're only having one goal in mind, you're not going to do well per se in making that change. So if you make it as like a lifestyle instead of just, oh, I'm here to lose weight, but this isn't the lifestyle I want to live, you're going to do better in that goal and feel better about yourself than just looking at a number on a scale or I need to
Right.
be like this inch or XYZ. Why is positive body image important? It's important because it impacts how we feel. It also impacts the level of confidence and how we interact in our relationships. It also has a direct correlation with anxiety and depression.
Okay. Yep.
In studies, they don't know which one comes first.
Okay.
And I think either way, you could start having a poor body image relationship and then you get anxiety and depression, or you get anxiety and depression and then your body image goes down. I think it could work either way, and that's why they don't have like good studies on based on where it comes from because it could go either.
Which makes sense, yeah. Trying to find the wheel so I can show everybody or a diagram so everybody can see, but not every one of them is the same. So
Pick one you like.
yeah, this one's the perceived, the psychosocial, psychological, and cognitive. Is that what the four you have?
I don't see it.
All right. So
Oh, you haven't pulled it up yet.
yeah, I haven't pulled it up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Perceived, affective, cognitive, and behavioral are the four I have, but
Okay, yeah. So no, that's not the same. All right. That's why I want to make sure that we have the same matching thing.
the psycho is probably the same because of it's probably just a different name because it's probably like fillings.
Right. Let's see what this one says. Affective body image, cognitive, behavioral, and perceptual. They're all different. It just depends on where you're getting them from. Okay, I won't show nothing. We'll just listen.
I'm sure if you go deeper, the definitions are probably the same.
Right.
You just have to look at the name. It just depends on who's doing the study.
Right.
So signs of body image issues, uh, body dissatisfaction, having negative emotions about their body, such as self-conscious, body shame, guilt, or anxiety, routinely making negative comments about their size or shape or different um, effects of their body, feeling unhappy over even the slightest change or increase in body weight, and then engaging in unhealthy behaviors to modify their body. So where
Which
does oh, go ahead.
I was just which could lead into another topic that we'll talk about here shortly.
Hmm. Yep. So where does negative body image come from? So negative body image generally stems from numerous sources, including cultural factors, peer influences, family values, mental health issues, and more. So each society has its own standard of beauty and ideals. So a big thing now is we have the social media and everyone is being placed on this, like, this is what you should look like, this is where you should fall into, but that's not necessarily ideal because they're doing more studies of like what they're placing as the ideal body image is not actually like a healthy body image. So
Right.
kind of finding your healthy balance is where you should be. So
And not
remembering
everybody's
that,
body type's the same.
yeah, remembering that when you're seeing that is just finding where you fit as healthy and what makes you comfortable.
Right. Not everybody's body type's the same or genetics are the same. It it's all different. So it's one thing that I've always had like a big like pet peeve about because
Mhm.
you're supposed to fit these standards. Like in the military, for instance, we have a height weight that we have to fall into, and they have a BMI that they don't even do like a pinch test or a water test or anything like that. This dude can be a complete meathead, 4% body fat, but he's overweight, so he has to get taped. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't. So,
Mm-mm.
not everybody should fit into the same standard.
Um, so yeah, that's one of the points, like bringing up just not looking at what they're saying because sometimes it's not a healthy standard for you.
Exactly.
Um, so some standards that I came across for who falls under these body image issues or body dysmorphia is so it can affect both boys and girls, like you just brought up, like the military standards. Um, but research has shown over half American girls are unhappy about their bodies by the age 13. This number grows to almost 80% by the age 17. Nearly half of women over the age 60 are considering plastic surgery, and nearly half of elementary girls experience concerns about being too fat.
That's wild to me. 50% under the age of 13,
Hmm.
80% by the age of 17.
Have experienced some type of body image issue or have experienced some type of body dysmorphia and they struggle with that.
And where these are just strictly this worldwide or United States?
That was America. It
America on
wasn't.
its own. Okay. Wow. Sometimes the numbers will get you to think a little bit, right? How we treat
Hmm.
people. Because a lot of the body image is because of the words that are said to them and how they're being treated by others.
I mean, I know growing up, just talking about like how the military was me playing sports. I played travel basketball and I was kept on a very strict diet. We weighed in. and it was for basketball, so like you wouldn't think that was something, but as a guard, they kept you on a certain like weight range because you had to be quick. You had to,
Yeah,
but they also didn't, yeah, they didn't count for the muscle that we were gaining, that we were still growing, that because I
right.
started playing travel basketball when I was 13. I wasn't done growing yet, but they kept you on a very strict. I was put on a blood type diet that you were supposed to eat according to your blood type.
Wow.
Certain, yeah, certain foods slowed you down. So during tournament weekends, we weren't allowed to eat those foods. That red meat apparently makes me tired. And I do notice that, like, when I eat red meats and certain foods, I kind of drag. And then I know certain foods give me energy. Like, I know that from this, but I was 13 being told to do this, to stay in this weight, stay in this BMI. And if I fell out of it, they like worked you harder.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know that, for instance, I live in a huge wrestling town. They're like number one in our state almost every year. Um, I can only imagine how they get treated, the wrestlers themselves, and the diets and all that stuff, just to maintain a weight to be where they want them to wrestle in their weight class and stuff. There's they're very very strict, but it takes a lot for you to withstand that.
I mean, I struggle with some of that still now, but I struggled really bad and actually until I met Tyler and he was like, you got to break out of these habits of what you were trained as a kid. You have to eat more, you have to sustain like what you need to, because I was still 120 pounds when I met Tyler and he was like, no, you have to eat more. You're an adult.
Yeah, I can see that. Uh, he was a very
Um,
stocky man himself, though. He wasn't thin by any means.
yep.
He's broad.
hmm I mean, but he was like muscular, but he ate
Right.
like no other, but I was over there like eating like a bird and he was like, what's that? Here's some more. And it's like,
That's
no, no,
funny.
no, I can't eat that. That doesn't match my blood type. And he's like, no, you're gonna eat it. Um, so mental health disorders related to body image. So this is like some of them that we'll like go into over the summer, just to kind of remind people that we do know this time of year kind of it gets brought up a lot. It's a very hot topic. So there's anorexia, bulimia, body dysmorphia we talked about a little bit today, but we'll go into it deeper. There's muscle dysphoria. And then there's a self-injury. I'm not quite sure what that is, so I want to dig deeper into it, but it does have something to do with your body image.
Self injury, you said?
hmm
See what I can find while you're reading off the other ones.
That's the last one. The other ones are like anxiety disorders and depression that kind of tie into the other ones. Um,
I don't even know. Self injury, there's. What would I. So, what is this consider? This is like eating disorders and self injury?
yeah.
See what pops up here. All right.
There's also like groups that it impacts the body image and adolescence, body image issues during pregnancy and postpartum. And then there's the specific groups for body image issues of different age groups that we could talk about as well too.
Okay, so this is eating disorders such as anorexia, bulimia. Let's see, seldom occur independently or other psychiatric symptoms or disorders. It is not uncommon for those struggling with an eating disorder to engage in other forms of self destruction, such as cutting. Cutting is the most common form of self injury. So, through other behaviors, including scratching, burning, hair pulling, or the consumption of harmful substances to or objects, self injury behaviors in the case of eating disorders include self inducing vomit, laxatives, or excessive exercise, restricting following a binge or by binge eating or until the point of discomfort to pain. Okay, signs or symptoms, fresh scratches, broken bones. So it's really just doing harm to yourself is really all it is while you're going through these. Hmm.
So that'll probably just be talked about within each one.
Right.
So how to improve your body image. Improving your body image can be a gradual process, but it's an important journey to take. You have to build a better relationship with your body, which will help lead to better self-esteem and self-acceptance. So the first step is like building a recognition and reframe of your cognitive self with your body.
Okay.
The second one would be practice positive self-talk. Three, stop comparing yourself to others. We did talk about that a little bit, kind of figuring out where you should be. There's always like you can have room for improvement. You can set goals for yourself, but also know where your boundary is and where your healthy point is.
Right.
Um, and then step four is to set health focused goals, not aesthetic goals.
Focus goals instead of aesthetic goals. You guys hear that? Healthy goals.
Um, if those aren't helping you, it says to go further to unfollow like social media accounts that are bad influences, which that falls for anything that is impacting your mental health in some type of way. You can just unfollow that whatever platform you're on if it is not good for your any type of doesn't have to be your body image, it can be any type of mental health
Your
aspect if it's
beliefs, anything. And that's currently right now there's a lot going on in the gaming world with one of the bigger streamers and offending others by his beliefs and the words that he's chosen to say. But of course, people always got to take it and go farther with it. But like you're saying, you could just unfollow and block, do things so you don't see that stuff, right?
set your
Take your,
boundaries and
you know,
yeah.
we talked about boundaries before, guys. You got to know them, set them, respect them.
So that goes for everything, your body image, how you're working on yourself, and just knowing where you stand. You don't have to be exposed to it. So setting your unfollowing on social media, the bad influence of if they're kind of provoking you to have that perfect image, just unfollow it.
Focus on the things you can control and don't stress the things you can't control.
That's the perfect one to go into the last one. Focus on what your body can do, not how it looks. So, going into like exercising and doing anything with your body, kind of focus where you can start. I know a lot of people go into, and this is like going with your healthy boundaries and whatnot. A lot of people go into like exercising and they want to just like run in there and be able to do the highest weights, highest whatever. Start with baby steps. Start walking, then you can run. That's like
Yep.
babies don't start running first. They start crawling and walking, and then you work your way up to whatever it may be. So help set your healthy boundaries and goals. Then you'll get wherever you're going, but it takes time and consistency. So that goes with your mental health as
Consistency.
well too.
Consistency. That's one of the biggest things, guys. Especially with working out. You don't have to go in there for 2 hours every day. You can go in there for 30 minutes just to keep your heart rate and your blood flowing and working those muscles out. You don't have to do an over the top exercise every time you go in either. It's just to keep your heart pumping the blood and letting the muscles work. Sometimes it's good to do a lighter weight, more rep kind of workout. You
And
don't
you
have
don't
to
even
go in
have to
there. Yeah,
lift. You can go in
right.
and do kind of
Cardio.
yeah, you can find where you are. Me, growing up in sports, I've realized that I don't like strength training. I like to do the agility and kind of running type of training.
You like
And
running?
I do like running.
Distracted running or actually like running?
Probably distracted running.
Okay, I was gonna say distracted cardio is the only way I really like to do cardio.
Yeah, but it's hard to do when you're older if you're not on like an actual team. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why basketball was always one of the big things for cardio for me because you don't even think about running when you're on the court. You just play.
hmm
But you take me try to go run 2 miles around the block. I'm thinking about it the whole damn time. So
yeah, I do run still though. So I don't know. Maybe I do like running.
not me. I haven't
You just
ran
gotta
since I
play
got out of the
music.
army. I haven't got out. I haven't ran since I got out. I'll ride a bike.
Oh, no, I can't ride a bike. I can ride a bike, but I struggle.
Okay. We'll talk about that some other day. Guys, so listen, a little is that all we got?
For the body image, yeah.
Okay. But are you going to talk about okay, yeah. So guys, remember, your body image, everybody's not the same. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. All right? I can't say that enough. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's so sad that so much stuff's on the internet that people fall victim to that they feel like they have to fit in or they have to do that certain thing to be into that category.
hmm
So,
Something that we stressed along this. Like everyone's different. You have your own journey. It falls into this too. You have your own journey. We're all very different and we're unique and special in our own way. You don't have to be cookie cutter like everybody else. Like you don't
right.
have to look like the person next to you.
Juice James boxing is a legit workout. I don't care what anybody says. Their conditioning is out of control, but yet not on top of their conditioning, but throwing your arms at that heavy bag and doing speed bag and all that, your arms will be noodles. I promise. So, and now into
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about both these topics. So we're going to do a quick rundown just because it is Mental Health Awareness Month for men and it is PTSD Awareness Month this month. So we're kind of just jumping back a little bit. We've talked about them before, just doing a little reminder just because June is the awareness month for
this
both of
is
them.
yep, this is the month, guys. PTSD and men's mental health.
So we'll start with mental health for men. The month of June is dedicated to men's mental health awareness. And actually, June 10th through 16th is International Men's Mental Health Week. So this week is International Men's Mental Health Week. So,
Okay. This week.
uh, so it's not meant to only raise awareness about mental health issues, but it's to encourage men to seek help. The population of, we're not going to do that.
We're not gonna do
So
that, chat.
male, I was going to say the population of men in the US, but I'm just going to jump down to the men that are affected by depression. Each year is 6 million in the US,
6 million.
but so that's about 4% of the men, like male population in the US. But you have to keep in mind of how many men are not going to get help, so how much is undiagnosed.
How many are not seeking treatment? And I'll guarantee more than that are.
hmm
Stubborn ass
Um,
men. I can do it all by
about,
myself.
yeah,
I don't need
speaking for
nobody
yourself.
else. I got this. I don't need your help. I'm fine.
Approximately 19.1 million American adults, men, ages 18 to 54 have an anxiety disorder. Around 300 or 3 million men have a panic disorder or a phobia. Approximately 3.5 million people and men in the US are diagnosed with schizophrenia. It is one of the leading causes of disability. 90% of men who are diagnosed with schizophrenia are by age 30.
No clear.
So, males account for an estimated 10% of patients with anorexia or bulimia. An estimated 30% of those who with binge eating disorders. Men with eating disorders are less likely to seek professional help than women.
Stubborn.
So, the highest suicide rates in the US are found in Caucasian men over the age of 85. Male
Wow.
suicides have
Over the
it took
age
you
of
a while to
85? No, it just took a lot to
yeah.
process that. That's the highest percentage of suicide rates is the Caucasian
Mhm.
male over the age of 85.
Mhm. It's typically because they've lost like their family, they don't really
Family,
have yeah. So they're
that's
just ready to
I can see that. A lot of the guys, well, at that age, if you spent your whole life with your wife and you lose
Mhm.
her, what else do you got, you know? That's crazy.
And you would think a lot of these men have fought in wars, they struggle with PTSD, they lose their family, they lose all kind of the support that they did
All the
have.
support. Yep.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Male suicides have been on the rise since 2000. Suicide is the seventh leading cause of death among males. Um, More than four times as many men as women die by suicide in the US. So, and then approximately 1 in 5 men develop alcohol dependencies during their lives. Male veterans, regardless of their form of service, experience nearly twice the rate of alcohol and drug use as women.
I can see that.
The signs of male mental health kind of breaks it down to low testosterone rates are correlated with depression, stress, and mood swings, especially among older men. And men, like we were just saying, are less likely to seek help
Oh,
or
yeah.
any type of help. So that's again why this month is being brought up to seek help, raise awareness.
One of my
Which
alerts
face?
just went off, and I don't know
Oh,
why.
um, so seek help, practice self-care, have open communication, and stay informed. Don't be afraid to reach out.
I thought I turned all the alerts off. Whatever. It'll just show up in the podcast now.
That's fine.
I do that so it wouldn't like every time if somebody comes through and follows, it doesn't interrupt the podcast every time.
Oh, my phone's off, so I didn't see it. And then the second one we wanted to kind of reiterate and bring back up is PTSD. We talked a lot about that. That was kind of our heavy topic when we first started this.
Yes.
So the whole month of June is PTSD Awareness Month, but PTSD Awareness Day is June 27th, so that's the end of this month.
Yep.
The month is dedicated to spread education on the topic of post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a health condition that we often associate with military veterans, but it can also affect a wide variety of people with for different reasons.
Yeah, it's just not military guys. Everybody can suffer from PTSD.
So some quick facts to kind of bring up. This is from this year. So just kind of updated probably from what we talked about before. The entire US population, about 7 to 8% will experience PTSD at some point in their lives. PTSD is more common in women than men. Childhood trauma can result in PTSD or in adult PTSD. Of those with PTSD, about a third will experience a severe form, a third will experience a moderate form, and a third will experience a mild form.
Okay.
There are many potential causes of PTSD, including serious accident, abuse, or assault, health problems, um, obviously a traumatic event. Veterans are at high risk. Also, first responders like EMTs, firefighters, police officers, they're also at high risk as well because they're exposed to it more often.
Right.
That was pretty much it because I know we dug deep into
We went in,
PTSD.
yes, we went real deep into it. Real deep.
That was like every podcast at the beginning, so I didn't want
Go into it too far. Again, and that's something, guys, that isn't taken lightly. That's why we touch on it every chance we can, if it's just like a refresher and just to remind people that it's a serious condition. Um, and it's not just veterans, first responders, any of that stuff. It could be from your childhood.
to.
It could be from a marriage that failed. It could be from an old job. It could be from so many different things. As I assume most only think PTSD veterans, accident victims. Yeah, right, Juice. But that's why it's got to be talked about more, and that's why mental health has got to be talked about more, to raise the awareness, to let people understand that it's not just categorized for veterans or first responders. So that's why it's very, very important to raise the awareness and continue to do what we're doing and have the support of everybody to continue doing this. And if there is topics you guys want to hear about or learn about, let us know. We're not against taking in some ideas so we can address them and try to get some information and facts and numbers and relate to them if we can, to put some sight to it so you guys can understand it more. I have a buddy who was diagnosed with it from childhood trauma growing up in a Jehovah Witness home. Absolutely. See, it could be from so many different things, and it's not. It can show up years later, out of nowhere. It cannot affect you your whole childhood, your whole uh, young adult life into your mid teens or mid 20s, 30s, and then one day it just hits you. There's no time frame on PTSD. It's not
Mm.
instant. It's could be any time when it's triggered.
And so you can also know you have it. You can be working on it. You can seem like you have it under control, and then something can also trigger it as well too. And you can have a different response at that point.
Right.
It's it's something that you're continuously working on it.
It is hard to and difficult, Muffin, and yeah, it can happen in a lot of different scenarios. Juice, it really can. It just doesn't come from. You could have multiple things that create PTSD in your mind and never face the triggers until one day and not know.
And that's why they say like it comes in different levels. You have the mild, the severe, like you have the one thirds. That's why they broke it up
Yeah.
into the thirds. Um, there's also different types of PTSD. Like they have, if I have a bunch of stuff here, I could bring up the book. Like there's different types of PTSD too that it can be categorized in. So you have like PTSD, and then you have like the different types of trauma PTSD that it can fall into. You have complex PTSD, where if you have multiple things in your life, that you can fall into that. So it's understanding where you fall, what it is, and then getting the help you need with it. to work through it. There's also several ways of treating it. There's also several ways of working with it and knowing who you are. I mean, also being open with your journey with it. I'm like Ryan and I are open. I'm clinically diagnosed, but I don't do EMDR because they're worried that if I do EMDR, it's going to make my symptoms worse. So I have a different form of type of therapy that I do to help with my PTSD. But some people, EMDR is like the only thing that works to help them.
Muffin said complex PTSD is so hard. I've been dealing with this since I was 14. So you might learn to go on not struggling with it. Sometimes you can conquer it, sometimes you won't. Um, it's nothing to be taken lightly. You just got to focus on getting the help that you need and figuring out what you can do to counter having those triggers cause a PTSD moment. Every day
Every
is a new
day.
journey. Yeah. Is that where you're reading that too?
Mm-hmm. I have it on my phone right now.
Oh, you do have chat up. Oh.
Yeah. Look, I stepped up this week.
Yeah, I got the camera back and you got chat going. Oh no. Puppy. She I think she gotta go outside. Is that everything you have?
Yes, that is everything I have.
All right. Chat, we got anything before we shut her down? Guys, remember topics. If you guys want to hear anything, let us know. But speaking on PTSD or depression, anxiety, guys, we are here. Reach out. If you aren't following the Facebook, exclamation point FB in the chat. If you're not in the Discord, exclamation point Team Dissy. Guys, get in there. Let's help each other out. That's all we got to do is show support for each other. Thank you, Juice. That means a lot. All right, guys. We got nothing else. I just want to say thank you on behalf of Fly High Wi-Fi for being here. We really appreciate the continued support and you guys coming through every time we hit live. And if you guys aren't able to catch us live, we are on Spotify, Pandora, Apple's still working on. We'll get there one day. But Google and all the major platforms, guys, if you want to go back and listen through to them. And like them, help us, spread the word, lift each other up, be there for one another. You are not alone. We are here. It's gonna be there every time you see us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you again. We appreciate you for being here. Hope you guys all have a great night. Bye.
Bye.